the lights on. I just wanna see you sweat, just keep the lights on. Yeah, hands up like black and white's gone. Go ahead and clap your hands like you tryna fight song. Go ahead and keep the lights on. I just wanna see you sweat, just keep the lights on. Hands up like black and white's gone.
After a compelling opener, we move on to Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals here on EA Sports. We're at Chesapeake Energy Arena in downtown OKC. Tonight, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder getting set to match up with the San Antonio Spurs. Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Cohen with Jay Williams. Jay, we look at the Thunder coming in. They were winners in Game 1, as expected, on their home floor. They'll look to build on that advantage here at home in Game 2.
And Game 1 went as expected. But now, as the higher seed, you still got to take care of business in Game 2. As a road team, all you're looking to do is split one of these first 2 games.
George. And he stepped out of bounds. Turns the ball over. Paul George. Westbrook. Buries it on the catch and shoot. Jay, if you're Russell Westbrook, how do you take on the responsibility of getting them over the hump?
You have to own it, man. And that starts with owning the fact that, yes, you were the first player in the history of the game to average a triple-double back-to-back, you being successful. Sometimes less is more. And he has to make sure that he's surrounded and allowing the players he's surrounded with to help him get to the next level.
George to Westbrook. To Paul George. Couldn't keep it in. Out off Paul George. Rocking the rim.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Count the basket inside. At his size on the wing, that's a tough matchup on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, let me tell you about why he's so great defensively. He gets up into you and forces you one way. Does not give you an option to dance with the basketball. That wingspan, that frame, that size, that strength, and that lateral quickness. Oh, there's no getting by Mr. George.
Westbrook with the basketball. His team up by 1. Stuffs it.
Also finding his rhythm.
To George. No good and no foul. Shot from the lane won't go. Russell Westbrook with the rock to Paul George. Yes, and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
Oh, he should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The ref spit, and that's the game.
Steven Adams trying to cash in on the three-point play. 56% for his career. Free throw up and good. Gives him a 2-point lead. To Murray. The shot turned away by Adams. And his foot was on the line. It's going the other way.
Denied. Oh, he sent that one to the third row.
He was locked in. That was impressive. That's going to get out of bounds. Last touch by DeRozan. Deep three at the buzzer. We've reached the end of the first quarter here in game number 2. Jay and I are back after this. It's the Western Conference Finals on EA Sports. On to the second quarter. Neither team sees control in the first. Some interesting things, though, certainly on display.
Well, first off, I'm going to take my analytical hat off and then put my fan hat on. This has been a blasé first quarter. Not good, not bad, right in between. Let's see how both teams come out and try to adjust themselves in the second half.
Russ at the controls. To Adams. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Westbrook into the front court. Leads 5. Big man, Steven Adams. 3 for 3 in this first half.
One of the best in the biz right there. Maybe the best.
Oh, Jay, he commands the paint this time down.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Paul George to Westbrook. Short jumper stays out.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
To Aldridge. Get the cameras out.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive.
Whoa! Get that out of here.
Message sent, Jay. DeRozan. From the outside, no good. The follow won't go either. And a chance coming up at the line.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
Knocks down the first. Able to convert on both free throws. San Antonio with the basketball. Return label included.
The offense might want to adjust here. That's his 4th block of the evening.
Not going to have it this time.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Nothing going here on that drive. Has a look. And he's fouled. A trip to the line coming up.
And the reality is that good jump shooters know how to get those calls. Overall, though, there's less flopping in the game, which is great. But there's something uncanny about certain players' abilities to get those calls on a regular basis.
Second one off the mark. He goes 1 for 2. Westbrook across the timeline. Throws it down.
How Well, right after the dunk, he looks right over towards the bench, gets a call from the coach about what defense they're in, and then gets his team set. Those are people that are able to lead men.
To George. Slams it down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
And a throwdown.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Paul George fires. Paul George. He's 2 for 2 now. Deep three at the buzzer. We reached halftime here in Game 2. Let's get you to our NBA Live studios in Orlando and hand it over to Jalen Rose for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen Rose, and this is your EA Sports Halftime Report. The Thunder put together a nice half and were rewarded with a solid lead. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs were unable to find an offensive flow in the opening half. They don't have a single player that can claim double figures in scoring. Have a look at the leading scorers for the San Antonio Spurs.
Game track. Assists. Player of the half.
Adams tallied a lot of blocks in the first half and really made his presence known on the defensive end. I bet we end up seeing the opposition get even more timid around him.
Who was cold?
Every player that makes it to the NBA is a great athlete, but even the best players have off nights. Today has just been one of those nights for this guy. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that, I'm sending it back to Ed and Jay to bring you the rest of the game.
Gets a look. Can't hit.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Curling inside. Slam dunk. Russell Westbrook.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Now ready with a couple of free throws.
Ed, as a defender, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot foul in the act of upward motion into your shot. Your timing needs to be better.
And he connects on the first free throw. Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. The Thunder have the possession. Russell Westbrook against Murray. Great hustle. That's what you like to see. Oh, too much contact. free throws on the way.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
First try at the line, no good. Knocks down the second after missing the first. Wow, look at him.
Oh, he just blocked that shot out of bounds.
Yeah, they're lucky they get the ball back. A lot of contact, no whistle. DeRozan with the basketball. The deficit now up to 5. Big man, Steven Adams, looking good, 4 for 5.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
To DeRozan with the interception.
You know, Ed, sometimes you're just more ready to play than your opponent. The intensity and the effort is off the charts.
Robertson defended by the former Longhorn Aldridge. Not that time. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
To Adams. Oh, lots of contact there. Still gets it to go.
Defenders had no chance on that one. That's why we call it the elite tier.
San Antonio ball. Nearing impossible. No getting through.
5, Ed. That's 5 blocks tonight.
And look out. Big finish at the rim.
That's the intensity you need to see. Whenever a player running back on defense after a dunk like that holds the inside of his forearm, it lets you know how hard he dunked that basketball.
Right down Broadway, 4-2.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot he wanted.
Layup's good. That's as high percentage as it gets. Third quarter comes to an end. The fourth quarter on the way, and a nice cushion for the Thunder. The Thunder have it to start the fourth quarter. They have clearly been the better side so far. Jay, that's reflected on the scoreboard.
Well, the cardinal rule in the game of sport is whenever you go into the fourth quarter, it's 0-0. You have to play the game with the scoreboard saying 0-0. And if you can win that game by double digits, then you've done your job in the fourth.
Short jumper off the mark. From the painted area, won't go down. To Westbrook. able to convert inside. He's endured a major injury. He's had a change of address. But you look at Paul George, he is in the prime years of his career.
And there's no doubt about it. This entire offseason, if I were Paul George, I would think about how do I constantly channel my self-assigned alter ego. Playoff P needs to step up to the court every single day and bring that energy.
Russell Westbrook against Murray. To Paul George. Give him 2 points. High percentage. We've seen Paul George's game evolve in recent years. Mixed results, Jay. How does he get back to being that elite two-way guy?
I think he needs to find a way to be aggressive. Let me bring you in and tell you what he dealt with this past year. When you're a guy who's used to having the ball in your hands, you can make more mistakes because you have more possessions. Then all of a sudden, when you play with a ball-dominant guard like Russell Westbrook, you don't have the ball as much, which means you try to make more out of less opportunity that you have. You force the action way more. Look for Paul George to be way more assertive in this game and find his rhythm by having the ball in his hands.
A drive down the lane, but the shot won't go down. Down low Adams. He's on the deck. Great sacrifice. Shot from the lane won't go.
Oh! Out there looking like the Kimbe Mutombo.
Took it right to him, and the defender was ready. Steven Adams with the slam.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. Shot from in close, no good. Here's Westbrook controlling the offense. To George. The rebound taken by the Spurs. Lets it fly from long range. No good. That's great defense.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
And too much contact.
Ed, you can't lunge like that.
Good victory here for the Thunder. They've taken the upper hand in this best-of-7 series. A 2-games-to-none lead. For my partner, Jay Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been the NBA Playoffs on EA Sports. Find out more at easports.com. Until next time, good night.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Thunder could not have been more dominant in this game. The scoring display they put on is going to be hard to forget. It's hard to imagine anyone doesn't come away impressed with how effectively they score their points. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Spurs are no longer suffering through what was a big-time blowout. Losses like this become main discussion topics in the media. So hopefully this team is ready to answer the tough questions. It's not going to be fun. Check out the leading scores for the San Antonio Spurs.
Game track. Rebounds.
The San Antonio Spurs lost the battle for rebounds, and in turn, they ended up losing the game. You won't find too many people who are surprised when they hear that combination.
Player of the game.
Adams, and his defensive impact was undeniable. The way he blocked shots reminded everyone just how great he is with his timing and energy.
Who was cold?
What can you say about a guy like this? Except that he fits the title of this segment. He was definitely cold in this game. We got our top 3 plays for you. Check them out.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that does it for our post-game wrap-up. On behalf of ESPN on EA, thanks for joining us.